As the special jury for Fulton County in Georgia issues its final report, I warn you that even if District Attorney Fani Willis calmly presents this report to the regular jury in an effort to accuse Donald Trump and his supporters, media will instead turn a nonsense sideshow and news. In fact, the media coverage of this absurd story has now reached a new level. Media leaders are now in court, trying to convince a judge to release the special jury report before Willis can bring an indictment. But there's always a chance that that happens, because the judge won't do that while the trial is going on. Now judge has agreed to release the opening and closing of the story this week, which isn't really news, but the media is pretending it's the biggest thing ever. Spoiler alert, part of the judge's report this week won't tell us who was charged. The indictments will tell us the accused. So when the judge released the less interesting parts of the story this week, I didn't want to think about how the media would vilify him. Will the media insist that the lack of fun means there is no trial and the charges will be dismissed? So the media will say that the parts published in the story are proof that Trump is guilty, and then insist that we will all be destroyed because Willis thinks he denied the accusations. Either way, you can see the ads coming up. This article, in its publication, whether it is not published, or its own publication, is not just a story. Regardless of how the report works, it will not have any effect on the charging process. That's not how everything works. The truth is that as soon as the report was written, Willis began the process of sending the report to a grand jury so that he could bring charges, and soon the indictments would be issued. So far, nothing has been published or written that the report will affect anything. But those facts don't work for advertising, of course. There is no way for the media to get information about the process of the accusation of Willis while it is happening in the secret jury room, so even if this process is happening, the media will not have anything to say about it. Instead, the media decided to create a sideshow, and a variety of fictional and pessimistic films, around something as stupid as a simple business story that has no chance of making an impact. And anything will not tell us anything until the accusation. Again, the charges will tell the story, not the story. We are talking about charges here. Criminal charges against Donald Trump and his associates. The action is a case of criminal activity. This is a good story here. It always has been. The Trump impeachment is the story of the century. But it's not an everyday story these days, as it all happens in private rooms. So the media created another persuasive story instead, to keep you engaged, and therefore glued to your screen, until the allegations came. If anything, the only message from Monday's hearing is that the impeachment process is still fully underway. The judge, who, unlike cable watchers, really knows how these types of legal proceedings work, is convinced that the charges are coming at a closer time. The media know it too. But if the media company believes that this story is not relevant and that allegations are coming soon, you should stop accessing it until the allegations appear. Therefore, the media will continue to annoy you as it is now, with increasingly apocalyptic progress about this irrelevant story. The closer we get to Trump's impeachment, the more hyperbolic the media will become. Meanwhile, Trump is being heavily scrutinized in Georgia, and elsewhere. The rest is just noise.